Hey guys, the market continues to act crazy and even a bit unpredictable. Bitcoin ETFs should be accepted soon enough, so we will see new BTC indicators, followed by a correction. And it's likely that this correction will be your last opportunity to enter the market at a good price. Therefore, we need to be prepared for it. So I have analyzed 3 different portfolios from 3 different influencers to choose the best strategy for the correction before the new bull. Subscribe to the channel and let's get started. As I said, we are going to have a roller coaster ride in the near future. The launch of Bitcoin ETFs is a pretty interesting news event that will only start to bring real benefits in the next few months. But what will happen immediately after the launch? This is a rather interesting question. Arthur Hayes believes that we are all waiting for a rather strong pullback, correction, new accumulation zone. You can call it whatever you want, but the point is the same. In fact, I agree with him. We need to understand and accept that we are all small pieces of a huge picture that is being managed by corporations and funds. Therefore, we just have to wait for the right moment to pick up assets at the bottom of the market after all the manipulation to make money in this market. Therefore, I suggest that you go through the portfolios of different bloggers so that you can choose the best strategy for yourself and stick to it in this market. The first selection of coins will be a portfolio from an influencer from the House of Crypto channel. Let's find out which tokens he decided to focus on. First of all, he decided to pick BTC and ETH, which is a fairly standard strategy. Assets like BTC and ETH can be considered as the foundation of any portfolio. By having these 2 assets in your portfolio, you will get a fairly conservative profit with little risk to yourself. At the peak of the bull market, such assets should return 2 to 5 times. But in my opinion, these assets should not be the main focus if you're just building your nest egg. They are more suitable for medium or large wallets that can easily buy a few BTCs and ETHs. If you want to significantly multiply your small capital, you will unfortunately have to turn to riskier assets. And it is about such assets that the author of the selection of this portfolio will talk further. However, before we move on to other coins, this video is not financial advice. So let's move on to Solana, which I believe is one of the most interesting assets with potential. Some people call it an Ethereum killer, others think that Solana has no chance. Either way, this asset is doing very, very well, forming high-profile partnerships and growing as a huge blockchain ecosystem. That's why the House of Crypto thinks it has some pretty cool potential.
So it's sat around $70. I do think that Solana has its potential to maybe get up towards $1,000.
And this is not the only major altcoin that the author thinks can reach an all-time high. Chainlink, quite an interesting and non-standard choice if you ask me.
Chainlink, guys. Chainlink is an important one because it's linking real-world assets via oracles to the blockchain.
This choice is based on the use of blockchain to communicate with the real world. I believe this will be one of the narratives of the next bull market, but I have doubts about how well this asset will perform. After all, Link is a rather heavy token in terms of price and capitalization, and in my opinion, new leaders will emerge in this space. But let's see what happens next. And for now, I suggest we move on to the next coin. The 5th and final coin in this selection is a rather interesting asset that can also be called a new direction for the next bull market. Render is a blockchain that actually delegates its power to render games and metaverse worlds. Considering the fact that GameFi is being called another narrative for the next cycle, Render could be an important part for this market. In my opinion, the House of Crypto's portfolio turned out to be quite interesting. Although it has a fairly large portion of so-called fundamental tokens and only a few riskier coins that have a great potential for price growth. He also decided to make a rather thoughtful move and leave part of his deposit in stable coins in order to be flexible and either not forget DCA for his already open positions or enter other projects and tokens. And now I suggest we move on to the next portfolio of No BS Crypto. The portfolio of No BS Crypto is different from the first one because here you will not see BTC, ETH, SOL. The author decided to pay attention to more exotic altcoins that can potentially bring more X's. I decided to highlight and tell you about only the most promising coins according to No BS Crypto. The first coin in this selection is the Pith project, and this is quite interesting because it is actually a competitor to Chainlink, and as I said, Link is not the most interesting token in this story. No BS Crypto believes that we can see Pith reach the success of Chainlink. Furthermore, the author believes that the Pi network has recently gained a lot of momentum. 90 data providers provide information to Oracle. They are connected to over 45 blockchains, which is actually more than Chainlink. They have 390 price feeds that people can use to update their smart contracts. I wonder if we will see the 60s. Share your thoughts in the comments below this video. And we are moving on to the second asset in the selection. Fetch is another coin from a new narrative that is destroying everything in its path. No BS Crypto makes it clear that the AI narrative is one of the strongest, and he focuses on it the most.
Let me just kind of pair up AI versus layer 1 and layer 2. AI beats even these guys, right? Again, 250, 260% gain thus far, and compared to layer 1s and layer 2s, just...
In general, the author suggests that AI is the future and not just about crypto. It's hard to argue with that, which is why Fetch occupies a rather important position in the portfolio, and we are moving on. The next project was Mina, which is a vivid representative of the zero-knowledge narrative, and the author believes that Mina can also develop towards Oracle like Link and Pith. No BS Crypto sees a huge potential in L2 blockchains. Besides the technology behind Mina, the lightweight nature of the blockchain. It is the only project based on recursive ZK technology, which means that the entire blockchain is 22 KB in size. The author predicts a price of $13, which is 13 times. The fourth token was HBAR, which I personally made several videos about. The author believes that this is a fundamentally important first-tier project focused on the real world, and the only one with hash graph technology. Hedera has very cheap transactions, fast transaction completion, and high security. Interestingly, one can see comparisons between HBAR and ADA. No BS Crypto even believes that Hedera will be able to replicate the success of Cardano. In this case, we will see quite an interesting 37% of the current indicators. And finally, the last project on this list is Flux. The Flux network covers many narratives, which makes it particularly attractive. It includes topics such as interoperability, artificial intelligence, layer 1, storage, cloud infrastructure, and proof of work. The author sees incredible potential in the 50s at a conservative valuation and in the 100s at the most bullish market. And that was the last of the top 5 tokens in the No BS Crypto portfolio, so I suggest we move on to Miles Deutscher's selection. Miles Deutscher decided to mix his portfolio with fundamental projects, pretty good altcoins, and riskier or new projects. So I chose to highlight 5 tokens that we haven't talked about yet today. And the first such asset was Near. The author considers the project unique because it has not moved away from sharding, unlike Ethereum. Near is backed by major investors such as Dragonfly, who are actively promoting the project. Although their ecosystem has not developed as fast as some expected, their daily transactions, TVL, and DEX volumes look very good. The next 2 coins in the blogger's portfolio are L2 projects. The author believes that these 2 pioneers of the L2 direction will occupy key positions and will only increase in value in the future. In addition, one can see a fairly high level of interest in these blockchains and their inclusion in the market. The fourth token was SWI. Although the asset has not performed well recently, the author sees great potential. Miles believes that SWI has significant support from major investors, including $36 million from A16Z, Electric Capital, Lightspeed, FTX, Binance Lab, and others. He believes in SWI's long-term prospects despite its ambition to create a new programming language that is different from the commonly used ones such as Solidity and Python. The final token in the selection was SEI. According to Miles, this asset has a fascinating narrative as it is seen as a trading network. SEI provides traders with benefits such as increased liquidity, reduced slippage, and other positive aspects. Therefore, the author sees great potential and a reason for the development of the Cosmos ecosystem thanks to SEI. And that was the last token in this selection. I would like to add that in this video I have collected as many different portfolios as possible, a more conservative one, a more risky one focused on new technologies and narratives, and the last portfolio that combines the first 2 at the same time. Personally, it's hard to say which portfolio will do better in a bull market, but I would try to build a portfolio that combines the first and second. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the growth of coins and the new trends. Thanks for watching. Your Coin Post.